Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Seun, and today we are going to learn about something super exciting, which is prime factorization. Now you don't need to worry, prime factorization is something that we have been doing in our everyday life. Now, what are prime factors? Prime factors are prime numbers that divide a larger number exactly without the remainder. So prime factors are a collection of prime numbers that divide a larger number without the remainder. Now we can come back to thinking, oh, what is prime number? Prime numbers are numbers that can be divided by 1 or itself. So an example of prime number are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 27, and so on. There are a lot of prime numbers down to infinity too sef. There are a lot of prime numbers. So prime numbers are numbers that can only be divided by 1 or itself. It brings us back to the particular question: how do we find prime factors? How do you find prime factors? So I'm going to be doing some examples. 30. To find the prime factor of 30, what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to be using division method to solve this. So to find the prime factor of 30, what you are going to do is you are going to look for the smallest prime number that can divide 30 without leaving a remainder, and 2 will go. 30 divided by 2, that's 15. 15 divided, what's the smallest prime number that can divide 15? 3, yes. So 15 divided by 3, that's 5. And 5 divided by 5 is 1, because that 5 can only be divided by itself. So your prime factor, the prime factor of 30 are 2 times 3 times 5. Let me do another example. So another example we have over here, that would be 108. 108, yes, 108. All right. So to find the prime factor of 108, the smallest prime number that can divide 108, that will be 2. 108 divided by 2, that's 54. Again, the smallest prime number that can divide 54, that's also 2. 54 divided by 2, that's 27. The smallest prime number that can divide 27 is 3. 27 divided by 3, 9. The smallest prime number that can divide 9 is 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. And again, 3. Smallest prime number that can divide 3 is itself. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. So the prime factor of 108 are 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 3, which can also be rewritten as 2 raised to power 2 times 3 raised to power 3. You don't need to rewrite it this way, especially if you have not done exponent. But if you understand exponent, it is easier to write it this way. Now let's go over to another. One more that we are going to do before we do more exercise would be 90. So to find the prime factor of 90, what are we going to do? The same thing we have been doing all through. Can 2 divide 90 accurately? Can 2 divide 90 accurately? 90 divided by 2, 2 in it, 4. Yes. So the smallest prime number that can divide 90 is 2. 90 divided by 2, that's 45. The smallest prime number that can divide 45 accurately, that will be 5. 45 divided by 5, that's what? 9. The smallest prime number that can divide 9 is 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. The smallest prime number that can divide 3 is 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So the prime factor of 90 are 2 times 3 times 3 times 5. Smallest prime factor of 90. Alright, so let me give some exercise. You can feel free to pause the video when you want to solve it. And B, that would be 243. So please feel free to solve it. Pause the video a little and solve it. Okay, so let's go for that. Now to find the prime factor of 500. The smallest prime number that can divide 500 would be 2. So 500 divided by 2, that's 250. Again, the smallest prime number that divides 250 would also be 2. Yes, the smallest, so 250 divided by 2, that is 125. So now 5. 125 divided by 5, that should be 125 divided by 5. 5 and 5, 1. 5 and then 2, 20, so 25. 125 divided by 5 is 25. Again, the smallest prime number that will divide 25 is 5. So 25 divided by 5, that's 5. And last but not the least, smallest prime number that can divide 5 with itself. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. So the prime factors for 500, the prime factor of 500 are 2 times 2 times 5 times 5 times 5, which is also the same thing as 2 raised to power 2 times 5 raised to power 3. Alright, let's do for the next one, B. 243. Finding the prime factor of 243. The lowest prime number that can divide 243 is 3. 243 divided by 3 is 81. The lowest prime number that can divide 81 is also 3. 81 divided by 3, that is what? That is 27. 27 divided by 3, that is 9. The lowest prime number that can divide 9 is also 3. So 9 divided by 3 is 3. The lowest prime number that can divide 3, it's itself. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. There you have it. So your prime factor for 243 are 2 times 3, 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So that's 3 raised to the power 5 in essence. If you want to write it exponentially, 3 raised to the power 5. And that is that for prime factorization. If you have enjoyed this video, please do well to like and subscribe. Thank you very much. Awesome work today, by the way. Have a nice day.